Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what just came out of Atlanta has the internet absolutely losing its mind. We're talking tears, chaos, and a father's heartbreak that's got everyone from TMZ to TikTok whispering the same question. What really happened to King Harris? Now, if you thought the Harris family's drama had reached its limit, think again. Because this time, it's not about music beefs, not about social media clout, and definitely not about viral interviews. This time, it's about something deeper. Something that made T, yes, the King of the South himself, completely break down in front of cameras. Reports are saying that what was supposed to be a routine hospital visit spiraled into a full-blown family crisis. Anonymous insiders claim doctors delivered a heartbreaking update that sent the entire Harris clan into emotional collapse. And from what's leaking online, the footage of T's reaction might be the most raw and vulnerable thing we've ever seen from the rapper who built his image on strength and pride. So, the question is, what really went down behind those hospital doors? How did a family known for fame, fortune, and fearlessness end up facing their darkest chapter yet? Let's get into it. The story starts on what was supposed to be just another glamorous Atlanta afternoon. T.I. handling business deals, Tiny posting her usual family updates, and King Harris flaunting his wild lifestyle on Instagram Live. But that calm didn't last long. Within hours, whispers started spreading through the entertainment blogs. Something was wrong. Very wrong. At first, it was just an unconfirmed tweet, prayers up for King Harris. Sources say he's been rushed to the hospital. Fans brushed it off, assuming it was another stunt or maybe a misunderstanding. But then photos started leaking, grainy, shaky images allegedly showing King being wheeled into Grady Memorial under heavy security, his face pale, his mom Tiny crying beside him, and T.I. visibly shaken for the first time in years. Now, this isn't the first time King Harris has made headlines. Let's be real, controversy follows that boy like a shadow. Whether it was that infamous altercation at Waffle House, the public spats with his own parents, or the viral clips of him claiming he's built for the streets, King has always had a talent for turning family dinners into internet spectacles. But this time, it wasn't about clout or cameras, this was something real. Anonymous hospital insiders claim that King was admitted in critical but stable condition. The family's camp, of course, tried to downplay it. A PR statement popped up hours later saying, King is recovering and surrounded by loved ones. But fans weren't buying it. Why was T.I. seen pacing outside the hospital with tears in his eyes? Why did Tiny suddenly go silent on social media? And why did King's usually talkative friends delete all recent posts featuring him? Rumors began spiraling out of control. Some said it was an accident, others hinted at something darker. Word on the street was that King's reckless lifestyle had finally caught up to him. Those late-night parties, the friends with questionable connections, and the endless need to prove himself. It was all adding up. Even his close circle had started distancing themselves weeks earlier, saying King had been acting paranoid, not sleeping, and making wild decisions. Then came the real shocker. A mysterious voice note leaked to an Atlanta gossip page. In the recording, an alleged family insider could be heard saying, "It's bad. They're trying to keep it quiet." But T.I. lost it in that hospital room. He's blaming himself for everything. The clip spread like wildfire. Within hours, #PrayForKingHarris was trending, and fans started flooding the Harris family's socials with messages of concern and confusion. But what made this situation different from all their previous drama was the eerie silence from T.I. himself. Usually, Tip would jump on Instagram Live within minutes to set the record straight. Not this time. For days, he said nothing. No posts, no stories, just total darkness. Insiders described the rapper as unrecognizable, claiming he'd been staying at the hospital non-stop, refusing interviews and breaking down several times. Meanwhile, TMZ-style reports started painting a grim picture of the Harris household. Apparently, tension had been brewing long before King's hospitalization. Sources close to the family described constant arguments between T.I. and Tiny about how to handle King's rebellious behavior. One insider even claimed that T.I. wanted to send King away to get help, but Tiny said no. She thought it would make things worse. The situation had escalated weeks earlier, when King got into a public confrontation that ended up on multiple blogs. Fans laughed it off then, calling him T.I.'s spoiled son trying to act hood. But behind closed doors, the fallout was reportedly serious. Family members allegedly stopped speaking to each other. Tiny's posts grew cryptic, and King, feeling isolated and misunderstood, started spiraling. Now, as the hospital updates keep rolling in, everyone's wondering, was this just a medical emergency? Or was it a breaking point? Did King's health suddenly fail? Or did years of family chaos finally explode in the worst possible way? Insiders claim T.I. blames himself entirely. He's reportedly been overheard saying, I should have been there. I should have seen it coming. One nurse, who allegedly treated the family that night, claimed the rapper broke down crying in the hallway, saying, "I built an empire but lost my son in the process." Whether that quote is true or not, it's painting a haunting image of a father who's realizing fame and fortune mean nothing when the people you love are slipping away. And while fans keep refreshing their feeds for any official word, the truth is, nobody really knows what's happening inside that hospital room. But one thing's for sure, the Harris family we all thought we knew might never be the same again. As the internet continues buzzing, one question lingers in everyone's mind. What could have pushed King Harris this far? Was it pressure, fame, rebellion, or something else entirely? Because according to one insider, this isn't just about King's health. There's more going on behind those doors than anyone's ready to talk about. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the cracks in the Harris empire start to show, because once you dig a little deeper, what's hiding beneath might just shock you. As the internet scrambled for answers, the Harris family tried to control the storm, but no matter how tightly they closed their circle, information started slipping through the cracks like water from a broken pipe. Fake insider reports began flooding social media, but buried in the noise were whispers too consistent to ignore. One anonymous source, reportedly a friend of a nurse at Grady Memorial, dropped a message to a gossip blog, claiming King Harris had been admitted not for an accident, but for complications linked to extreme exhaustion and stress. Now that might sound innocent, but if you've been following King's lifestyle lately, you'd know this kid hasn't had a peaceful day in months. Constant beefs online, late-night parties, and the endless chase for clout. It's a cocktail for disaster. Then came the bombshell. A leaked hospital report of questionable authenticity, of course, appeared on Reddit. The document was blurry, half-censored, and stamped confidential. But what it allegedly contained sent fans into a frenzy. It mentioned substance-related fatigue and psychological distress, fueling theories that King's breakdown wasn't just physical. The internet did what it always does, exaggerated everything, twisted every word, and turned speculation into fact. Meanwhile, clips from old King Harris live streams resurfaced. Him ranting about being misunderstood, complaining that his parents care more about fame than family, and claiming that nobody's real in this house. Fans who once mocked those words were now replaying them with eerie new meaning. 1. Viral comments summed it up perfectly. "We laughed when he said it, but maybe King was crying out for help the whole time." The situation turned darker when a mysterious Instagram account named a truth about the Harrises popped up. Within hours, it had over 50,000 followers, posting alleged DMs, audio notes, and exclusive info claiming to expose what's really happening behind the Harris family's gated mansion doors. One post in particular made headlines, a supposed voice memo from someone claiming to be part of T.I.'s management team. The distorted voice said the family's in chaos, Tiny's trying to hold it together, but T.I.'s blaming everyone, the media, the doctors, even himself. They don't want this out, but people around them can't stay silent anymore. Now, whether that clip was real or just another internet hoax, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Blogs, YouTube channels, and Twitter threads ran with it. The Harris collapse became the newest trending scandal, and every influencer with a mic was suddenly an expert on the situation. Some alleged that the stress of living in the public eye broke King's mental health. Others accused T.I. of pushing his son too far, trying to mold him into a version of himself that King never wanted to be. One fake tabloid headline screamed, "T.I.'s obsession with image drives King to breaking point. Family in ruins." And honestly, that narrative made sense to the internet. T.I. has built his entire brand around control. The music, the message, the legacy. So seeing his empire crumble from the inside? It's poetic in a tragic way. From the inside? It's poetic in a tragic way. But just when people thought they'd seen the worst, a new layer of controversy emerged. Leaked financial reports claiming that T.I. and Tiny had been quietly liquidating assets. Several blog sites suggested that medical bills and family complications were draining their finances, while others claimed they were preparing for lawsuits tied to unethical management of King's business ventures. A supposed friend of the family told the Tea Room podcast King was working on something huge, but it went bad, real bad. Money disappeared, deals fell through, and now everyone's pointing fingers. That's when fans noticed a detail nobody could ignore. Just days before King's hospitalization, he posted a cryptic story. "People only love you when you up. Wait till I disappear, then watch who calls." Hours later, that story vanished, replaced with a black screen and the words "I'm tired, now." Fast forward to the present, and suddenly all those posts feel like breadcrumbs leading straight to this moment. The paparazzi caught T.I. leaving the hospital late one night, surrounded by bodyguards, trying to keep his face hidden. But cameras caught enough swollen eyes, trembling hands, a man who looked completely broken. One photo went viral. T.I. sitting in his car, staring blankly ahead, phone in hand, as if he couldn't decide whether to call someone or throw the phone out the window. Meanwhile, Tiny has been seen visiting the hospital daily, always with sunglasses, always avoiding questions. Sources close to her say she's been barely eating, barely sleeping, and praying constantly. And the rest of the Harris kids, silent. Not a single word. Not a single post, almost as if they've been told to stay off social media altogether. Then another leak hit, this time an alleged email chain between hospital staff, claiming that security had been doubled because of paparazzi breaches and family altercations in restricted areas. One nurse allegedly wrote, "The father is under immense emotional distress. Please ensure he receives mental health support while visiting." Of course, none of these leaks are verified. But that doesn't matter in today's internet. Once it's out there, it becomes reality in the public's mind. But here's where things take a truly bizarre turn. A few insiders are now suggesting this whole situation might go beyond health or family drama. Some are hinting at cover-ups, claiming King's condition could be linked to something the family doesn't want public. One post on X, formerly Twitter, read, "Ain't no way every camera in Atlanta missed. What happened that night? Too many people paid to stay quiet." Fans began theorizing about everything from secret altercations to legal threats, to deeper industry conspiracies. And while all of that might sound wild, it's exactly the kind of smoke that follows a family like the Harrises. But what makes it so haunting is how fast it all spiraled. In less than a week, a once flashy, loud, confident family has vanished into total silence. Their empire trembling as the world watches. And for T.I., the man who once said he can't break a king, the irony couldn't be more cruel, because now it seems like the king himself is broken. Still, one major question remains: what will happen next? Because behind every leak, every anonymous quote, and every dramatic headline, there's a deeper truth waiting to explode. And if the rumors of government investigations, media gag orders, and sudden financial audits are true, this scandal might not just end with the Harris family's collapse. It could expose something much bigger than anyone ever expected. By the time week 2 rolled around, Atlanta felt like a city holding its breath. Every blog, every gossip channel, every fan page had the same headline plastered across it: King Harris still hospitalized, T.I. on emotional edge. But behind those polite words was a storm brewing. The kind of chaos that doesn't just ruin reputations, it rewrites them. The Harris mansion, once buzzing with cars, laughter, and luxury, now looked like a crime scene. Black SUVs parked out front, curtains drawn, security guards whispering into earpieces. Neighbors said they could hear shouting late at night, mostly T.I.'s voice, raw and furious. Some claimed he'd been lashing out at anyone who came near, while others said he'd been pleading, crying, praying, like a man bargaining with fate itself. Then, the real bombshell dropped. A local news outlet allegedly received documents from an anonymous whistleblower suggesting that the Harris family was under quiet federal review for financial discrepancies linked to King's independent music label. According to these so-called leaks, King's business accounts showed inconsistencies, large sums moving between shell companies, offshore accounts, and untraceable transfers. Was this connected to his health crisis? No one could say for sure. But in the world of celebrity chaos, everything connects somehow, especially when money, power, and fame are involved. One anonymous industry source told the Juice Report, "There's way more to this than the hospital story. King was about to expose something, and that's why all this feels off. You don't just go from wild Instagram lives to complete silence without someone stepping in." That statement alone sparked thousands of conspiracy threads. Suddenly, fans weren't just worried about King's health. They were questioning if the Harris family was covering up something far bigger. People started dragging up old lawsuits, old interviews. Even that time T.I. faced accusations of misconduct years ago. Everything resurfaced. Every skeleton, every rumor, every misstep. And in the middle of it all, T.I. broke his silence. It wasn't through a flashy press conference or an emotional Instagram live. It was a shaky video posted by a fan outside the hospital. The clip showed T.I. leaving the building, visibly exhausted, surrounded by security. When one reporter shouted, "How's King doing?" T.I. stopped, turned around, and said in a trembling voice, "I just want my son back. That's all that matters right now. Y'all can keep your stories, keep your lies. Just let my boy heal." Those few seconds exploded online. The video got millions of views in hours. Fans cried, critics mocked, and the public split right down the middle. Some felt sympathy, a father in pain. Others accused him of playing the victim to dodge accountability. And then came the official hospital update. King Harris remains under observation with ongoing treatment. That's it. No details, no timeline, no statement from the family. Just a line so vague it raised more questions than it answered. At this point, even celebrities started chiming in. Boosie posted on Instagram, "Y'all pray for T.I. That's still family to me." Meanwhile, Charleston White, never one to stay quiet. When Livin said, "I told y'all that boy was headed down the wrong road. You can't play gangster and expect life to play nice." The drama turned into national news. Talk shows debated whether the Harris family's fame had become their curse. Memes flooded social media, some cruel, some sympathetic. Every move T.I. made, every tear Tiny shed, became clickbait. Then, out of nowhere, another twist hit. Reports surfaced that T.I. might be stepping away from all business and media commitments indefinitely. That's when fans realized this wasn't just a temporary crisis. This was the fall of a dynasty. Behind the scenes, the alleged investigations intensified. Fake documents circulated claiming that T.I. had been contacted by federal agents regarding unresolved tax inquiries, the internet equivalent of a death sentence for public figures. Of course, no one could confirm a thing, but the headlines were enough to stain his already fragile image. Meanwhile, Tiny was reportedly seen visiting her pastor multiple times a week. Friends told gossip pages that she was spiritually broken, believing this was all divine punishment for the family's sins. Even the Harris kids were said to be fractured, some blaming the media, others blaming their own father. And then there was King, the one at the center of it all. No photos, no updates, just silence. Some fans began circulating wild theories that he'd been transferred to a private facility. Others swore he'd been seen in a black SUV leaving the hospital at night. But the truth? Nobody knows. And maybe that's what makes it all so chilling. The final blow came during what was supposed to be a private family meeting. A leaked recording allegedly captured T.I. breaking down, his voice cracking as he said, "I fought the world to protect my name, but I couldn't protect my own son." That one line became the headline of the week. It's the kind of raw, cinematic pain you can't fake, the kind that makes even his haters pause. Now, as days turn into weeks, the Harris empire feels like a ghost of what it once was. The music, the showbiz glamour, the Instagram perfect family image, all replaced by uncertainty, guilt, and regret. Some say this will be T.I.'s redemption arc. Others believe it's his downfall. But one thing is certain, the world will never look at the Harris family the same way again. Because behind every spotlight lies a shadow. And behind this family's success lies a darkness even they couldn't control. So, as the cameras fade and the headlines shift to the next scandal, the question remains, will King Harris ever recover? Not just his health, but his peace? Will T.I. rise again? Or has this tragedy finally humbled the King of the South? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this story isn't over. It's just beginning to unravel. Isn't over. It's just beginning to unravel. And when the truth finally comes out, whether it's weeks or months from now, it won't just shake the Harris family. It might just shake the entire industry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as the dust settles on this heartbreaking saga, one question echoes across every corner of social media. How much truth are we really being told? Because when it comes to celebrity families like the Harrises, nothing is ever as it seems. The smiling photos, the perfect interviews, the luxury lifestyle, all just a mask hiding cracks too deep to ignore. But if this story has shown us anything, it's that money and fame can't buy peace. Behind every private jet and diamond chain is a family fighting battles the world never sees. So the next time you scroll past another glossy post of the Harris family acting strong, remember this. Even the most powerful kings can crumble when the crown gets too heavy. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think T.I. is hiding something bigger about King's condition? Was this just a tragic health emergency? Or the final consequence of years of denial, pressure, and secrets? Drop your thoughts down below because trust me, the theories are wild. And I'm reading every single one of them. And if you want the real truth behind these celebrity meltdowns, not the PR spin, not the sugar-coated interviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. Because the moment the story takes another twist, we'll be right here breaking it all down, piece by piece. Until then, keep your eyes open, keep your receipts ready, and remember, in Hollywood, nothing stays buried forever. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon, and share this video because the next twist in this story could drop any second, and you won't want to miss it.